Combat sports fans, welcome to another great edition of Strong Style. I'm your host, Jeremy the Impact York. My goodness, didn't know we were going to get this show out this week. We tried and had so much to do, had so much fun at the Fried Pie Festival here locally in Buchanan. Had a blast hanging out with some of the people down there and seeing all you guys and eating some food that is probably not good for me, but was still great. Um, got Premier Wrestling coming up a little bit later on. We will talk about that here shortly. Tonight's going to be a crazy, weird show. We're basically going to talk NXT, and we're basically going to give picks for AEW, which is probably happening right now. And I will also talk about Bullpen Pro Wrestling that was last night. So we will get into that here shortly. But first, let's just let you know all the places you can find us. If you want to find the show, you can go to our YouTube page, Impact underscore media underscore. That's on YouTube. The Impact 99 on any of the social medias. I think Team Impact Media at Team Impact Media on Twitter as well. So many ways you can find us. Please find us, like, share, subscribe, leave questions, comments. Directions to Blackbeard's treasure. Just fun things. You want to leave us fun things like that? Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it PG. But you want to leave us fun things? Please do that. We have some emails, but we got to sort those back out. But yeah, or if you see the shows, come say, hey, I listen to the show. I really like this. I really don't like this. Great. That's let's talk about those. Shout out to J Rod's Diesel Repair, who is sponsoring the show. If you want to sponsor this show, reach out to us. All those ways there. And it's really more affordable than you think. Other than that, let's talk about Bullpen Professional Wrestling. It was moved a couple days right before the end. Also, thoughts, prayers, and well wishes to Bull Buchanan, who is having a little bit of a health scare right now. I believe he is in a local area hospital. Seems to be doing a little better. They seem to have figured out what it is. They are just going to keep him for another day or so, last I heard, just to make sure that all the fluids and things they gave him are actually doing what they need to do, and that his body is being back ready to do these things. So thoughts and prayers out to Bull Buchanan. I want to see you. Let's see you back out walking around, even if that's the last wrestling show you're ever a part of. Then we'll deal with it. But just want to see you out being Bull, because Bull's a good guy. I don't know if people know that or not. Bull's a really good guy. But let's talk about Bull's show. How did Bull's show go? Well, let's see, it was on Tuesday last week. We found out this Tuesday or Wednesday, we found out, hey, it's not in Villa Rica anymore at Gold Dust Park. It is now in Temple at the Temple Rec Center. For me, that's close to me. But fantastic building. I enjoyed this building. This was a good building as well. It got really loud. They really packed it out. I don't know what that magic number is. But in the opening match, Mr. Pete State Shane Knowles took on Lawless James Bennett. I did not know who Lawless James Bennett was. He was new to me. I've known Shane Knowles. I know who Shane Knowles was for probably 15 years. 20, see. Yeah, I bet 15 years. Good match. Good match. Lawless took it to him. He was throwing everything he could, even tried to come off the top a few times. And Shane Knowles is just too much of a veteran. He's able to get the upper hand, and Mr. Pete State gets the pinfall victory in that one. Up next was a grudge match. The only feud that has been going on longer than the one I'm about to mention is one later on that had to do with the lightweight title. Trey Jordan versus BK Bennett. Trey Jordan been lighting it up on one side of West Georgia. BK Bennett been lighting it up on the other. And the two of them have been clashing every time they are in the same building together. They really got a good chemistry. Trey Jordan is a large human being that wrestles like he is not a large human being, but also knows how to utilize his power. BK Bennett, known for flying and his speed a little more and just trying to fly by the seat of his pants, basically. In the end, BK Bennett, now that he's all healed up from his rib injury, BK Bennett gets the pinfall here. I think that's the last we have seen of this particular feud for now, but I have seen these guys wrestle no fewer than 3 or 4 times already. Um, let's see what he holds. It seems like by the end of the night, there was a new faction that included uh, Trey Jordan, Zach Buchanan, and Ryan Wendell. And I'm not sure what that's going to turn into, but I like the three of them pairing up. That's an entertaining trio. Up next, Alexander Lincoln took on Jacob Ashworth. We are in talks to have Jacob Ashworth on this show. That is not to call Jacob Ashworth off because I will see him in a few minutes at said show we are going to later on at Premier Wrestling. But Jacob Ashworth, you guys told me, you said, hey, I want you to have Jacob on. We reached out. We are in agreement right now. We are trying to nail down because we both have chaotic schedules exactly when we can make that work. But keep your eyes peeled. Jacob Ashworth will be on Special Edition Strong Style very, very soon. So this is also a grudge match because Alexander Lincoln has come out and attacked Jacob Ashworth before a couple times. And so they finally, after a bunch of head or misses, get together. And this was turning into a really, really good match. And then a mystery person come running down. Turns out his name was Joe Wood. Turns out he is the brother of Alexander Lincoln. Boy, there could be a lot of things said there. Lincoln and Wood. I wonder if they're in the log cabin business, right? Maybe that's the family business. But he comes out, so it's a 2-on-1 attack there, and actually Xavier Cross comes out from the back to help Jacob Ashworth, and Jacob Ashworth goes, well, don't go anywhere, big man, because since you saved me here, I would like to pair up with you, and we can take on those two jabronis out there in the entrance way. Cross says, sounds like a good idea. Cowboy Johnny said, that's a good idea. So Jacob Ashworth won that one by DQ, and it looks like it's the next show we're going to see Jacob Ashworth and Xavier Cross, who is like, he's 6'5", 6". He's a big individual, big young kid. We're going to see those two versus Joe Wood and Alexander Lincoln, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Now we get to the grudge match that I was really wanting to talk about. The loyalist, Ryan Wendell. The loyalist. He is very loyal to the British Crown. Yeah. A lot to be said about being loyal, right? A lot to be said. He defended his light heavyweight championship against Dante Diamond. Both these guys come through training together. Apparently, from the time they were both in the same room, they don't like each other at all. I've had one conversation with Ryan Wendell, just, after a show. And, he said, yeah, it's true. Him and Dante just don't get along. They don't see things the same way. Ryan says he is loyal to the things he is loyal to, and that makes Dante mad. And Dante is loyal to the things he's loyal to, and that makes Ryan mad. So this feud that I believe everybody said it's been going on since the start of Bullpen, and some people tell me since February, but I can tell you in no uncertain terms, I have seen these two square off half a dozen times in some sort of fashion. Each time something different. I've seen flag matches. I've seen all kinds of stuff. In this case, it was just straight up for the title. Dante got busted open halfway through the match, and Ryan was really taking it to Dante, man. He was just laying it in. He was really getting things going. And then at the end of it all, Dante powered back. He's great. His comeback is bar none. Anybody else gets his comeback, and he hits his American Destroyer for the victory. Your new light heavyweight champion, Dante Diamond. Because I was thinking, well, two things. Well, now what does Ryan do? Does Ryan try to get this rematch, or like I said, my conversation with Ryan, I never asked what's next or things like that, but I was just talking to him, and he hinted towards that he was just going to straight up move on. He would worry about a rematch down the road. He was due one, obviously, because I think he was the inaugural lightweight champion and has had it ever since. I know Bull is glad to not only have that belt not in the bottom of a river, but also around the waist of somebody that he really likes and really respects in Dante Diamond. But knowing that Ryan eventually created that trio later in the night, he's going to move on, and I think his next opponent actually is Ethan Dallas of the Wonder Boys. So I look forward to that. That is two young stars who love to fly around the ring and use their speed and ingenuity. So that's going to be a fun matchup. But also after Dante celebrated, he did something extra. He won the light heavyweight belt and then grabbed the microphone and said, "Hey, thanks everybody. I want to challenge Rob Adonis for his Southern heavyweight title." Everybody went, "Say what now? You just won a belt. You don't even want to defend that one yet. You just like UFC or something. You win the lightweight belt and you go, I'm going for the heavyweight guy. And you just put that one on." And not only did he call out Rob Adonis, but which by the way, Rob Adonis is about 2 to 2.5 times the size of Dante Diamond, and that's not calling Rob Adonis a big person, but he is a large human being who has been known to break things twice the size of Dante Diamond, let alone the actual size of Dante Diamond. But he calls him out, Cowboy Johnny Brown, who is sitting at ringside and who is the general manager or matchmaker right now at Bullpen. He says, "Well, I've still got to talk to Rob, but as far as I'm concerned, I ain't got no problem with that match. Just make sure you know what you're getting into." Dante says, "I know what I'm getting into." Okay. So they're going to talk to Rob Adonis. I think they're in the process of finalizing that. If they haven't already. I can't remember if they did or not. I hope they did. That one should be fun. Up next, Lethal Gaines, which is friend of the show, Chris Gaines, Lamar Phillips. How we kind of know that guy too. They took on Xavier Cross and JT Paradox. Two people that are just ripping it up on the indie scene for sure. In fact, JT Paradox had a match with Hunter James. Was it Southern Honor or it was somewhere, and they said they ripped up the place. But so this one goes pretty back and forth. You just got the power of Lamar Phillips and that veteran experience, the veteran experience of Chris Gaines. They just know how to tag. They're one of the best tag teams in the South by far. They might be one of the best in the nation. You got Gaines just cerebral attacks, just knowing how to attack, when to attack, and man, this thing went really pretty good. And then there was kind of a melee at the end. Let me see exactly. Wonderful write up on Georgia wrestling history, by the way, on this. There it is. You get the old school from Cross. There's a melee. Out of nowhere, Paradox rolls up Phillips for the 1-2-3. I have a wrinkle to add in on this match too. I don't know if Johnny Brown is aware of this because I need to contact him about it actually. I don't guess it would be Bull's concern. So they win the 1-2-3. So they think we've won the tag belt. No, you hadn't, because Lethal Gaines said we signed up for a 3-on-3, a 6-man tag for tonight for the 6-man tag belt. Last time we count, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 people in this match. We're missing them. So that was a non-title that you win. Okay. Well, a couple things. Like I said, the thing Cowboy Johnny Brown does know, he says, well, those two young men did pin the champion in a non-title bout, which earns them a title shot down the road. It's got to be further down the road because Xavier Cross is teaming with Jacob Ashworth coming up. The thing I want Johnny Brown to think about, by my calculation, I take notes during the matches. I have a whole notepad. Do I have a notepad? I don't have it here. It's over there. across the room. There's a notepad. By my calculations, Lamar Phillips was not the legal man in that match. You should not have been able to pin him. JT Paradox was. Chris Gaines was actually the legal man, according to me. And maybe I missed something. But if you pin the wrong guy, it's invalid. It just holds up as a no contest at that point. Or you have to restart the match if you do it quick enough. But as far as I'm concerned, Lethal Gaines won all the way around because they don't take the loss because the wrong guy got pinned. They've got to fix that. They got to fix that. And Cowboy Johnny Brown, maybe I reach out to you and mention that to you. And it's not to call you out for something you did wrong. I just think you guys missed it. You just missed it. I don't remember do we have the ref? Did I write who the ref was in this? No, I didn't. But it's a good match. It's a really good match. But I got to side on the side of Lethal Gaines here. They not only was it non-title, it was an invalid win. It was an invalid win. I mean, and I'm not on their payroll like Richard is, but like Richard Page. But I'm gonna probably see him again tonight at this show. I'm gonna bring it up to him that they kind of lead this charge to get this right. Then we get up to this was a match of grudge matches because two referees, one that does not referee anymore. But you had Kyle Gunner making his wrestling debut, and he partnered up with Shane Knowles, who had made him very, very smart decision to do it, versus Xander Warwick. Xander Warwick come out wearing a neck brace. Why would Xander Warwick wear a neck brace? Well, because the week before, at Premier All-Star, by the way, this should carry over, at Premier All-Star, Barakas, who used to be Brother Azrael, did a pile driver on Xander Warwick 4 or 5 times and then did a big splash and he about had to peel him up off the carpet. It's it's a pretty crazy injury when the dude's parents get in the ring. And it's not like, let's see how Little Giant No. His parents know wrestling. Him and his dad have ran shows before. Or he has been in his dad's shows that his dad runs. This is like the Cena. John Cena's dad used to run shows for you guys who don't know. So, yeah, he knows about wrestling. Xander Warwick's mom has been to shows, has seen him more busted up physically than he looks there. They were both very concerned, got in the ring, helped him to the back. I believe he went to a local facility to get checked out, was released later that night, but he's had a neck brace ever since. So he clearly come out and won here. But they actually had a good match. They had a really good match. Kyle, to be his debut, I thought did some spectacular things. Xander is a fireball of energy anyway. I do have it on good authority that Xander has done refereeing. It is wrestling full on out. And by the looks of it, Kyle's kind of that way too. So bullpen needs some referees, guys. If you know anybody that wants to get some work in, they're going to need some referees soon because they've got some good ones, but they've got two that just officially took off the strike. Then in the end, Kyle Gunner finds a way to win this one. Here's basically what happened. Shane Knowles, who was out at ringside, jumped up on ringside because Warwick had been at him all night. And so did Connor Parker, the referee. They were constantly messing with Shane Knowles. And so Shane gets up on the apron, and he knows the match is almost over. So he is asking Connor Parker where the latest or where the nearest. He's not a big Temple person. He doesn't come to Temple very often. He wants to know where the latest waffle eating establishment is in the area because when he's done with the match, him and Kyle are going to get cleaned up and they're probably going to go have some bacon and eggs and a waffle. I'd tell you what place he's talking about, but they don't sponsor the show. They should. I go there a lot. But yeah, could he have asked at a different time? Sure. But it was kind of a break in the action, and he jumped up on the ring apron. He's asking Connor Parker, "Hey man, where is this establishment at? You tell me where it was before. Where was it? Is it like up on the left, or do you like go over the tracks and then it's off that way? Is it before you get to any of those other places? Where's this place at?" And not only does Connor Parker take offense to it, Xander Warwick does, who instead of finishing off Kyle Gunner like he was trying to, he jumps up and he waffles Shane Knowles. What? He's not even in the match. Why? Look, I don't want to hear it, Xander. Xander, if you say the hell he was trying to interfere in the match, well, keep doing what you're doing and don't worry about him. But you decided to concern yourself with somebody who was not trying to interject in this match, and Kyle Gunner was able to get him. And Kyle Gunner gets the win. Connor Parker had to count his friend's shoulders to the mat. And after the bell, well, Knowles and Gunner decided they're going to continue the attack on Warwick. Not sure how long Warwick is going to be out. I'll let you guys know if I see him tonight. But he needed some help. Not sure where Connor Parker had went to. I think he may have got dumped on the outside at some point. But who runs out to help Xander Warwick? BK Bennett. Yep. BK Bennett, the resident rock star, ran out, was able to help Xander, dumped both Kyle and Shane over the ropes, and that sets up a tag match coming up at the next Bullpen show, which is in a couple weeks, between those four. Then we get to the main event, where we get Zach Buchanan, Cody Windham, and Rob Adonis versus the Wonder Boys, Aaron and Ethan Dallas, and Frankie with Tweety out there. So this should be a good match. It was a really good match. But you guys remember during a triple threat, there was a little miscue between Zach Buchanan and Cody Windham. Well, there was a couple more in this. And by the end, it was actually Zach who laid out Cody. They're not living the sweet life anymore. Zach laid out Cody again, and this ultimately led to the formation of him, Trey Jordan, and Ryan Wendell into the trio that I don't have a name for him yet. I'm trying to think. Nope. I will not be seeing either of them this weekend to find out, but that trio is going to be something. And it's just spectacular the way that all went. What else? Yeah. I want to know why Zach attacked Cody. I actually asked him after the show, and I was like, hey, so you and Cody are kind of on the split. And he said, you'll see the bigger picture soon. And he grinned, and he kind of trotted on off. Fine with me. I'm investigative. I'll either find out or I'll wait and find out with everybody else. I have no problems with that. And then what's next for the loyal Ryan Wendell? I think we found out. He's going to be part of that trio, and you better watch out for him because that trio could really, really do some damage. All right, so let's talk some NXT, right? Let's talk some NXT, and then we'll make some AEW predictions, and we will be out of here. Okay. It seems like the next two guys up to the main event level are Javon Evans and Briggs. They had Briggs get the win here, but Javon could take the loss. That's fine. I want to see him really do something with Briggs, because if not, Briggs is going to turn into the new Trick, and I'm going to get a new Trick in just a second. But Javon Evans, I think, is still too young. They're running into a Roxanne Perez situation where they're just way too young to put on the big roster right now. That's what held up Roxanne Perez. Had Roxanne Perez been 2 to 3 years older than she was when she was in NXT, she'd have been called up quickly. But it's just, they're like, you know what? Let's take our time here. Same thing with Javon. Let's see. Because they started out, they started, this thing started out of nowhere. Ava said, you two want to fight, go and start your match. It ended when Briggs used a chain to beat Javon. Something like it, beat him straight up. But, it is what it is. Of this trio I'm going to mention, I'm going to tell you that I think 2 of them are going to be called up by the end of the year. I am. You've got Obafemi, you've got Ricky Saints, and you've got Trick Williams. And I just told you guys I was going to get into something about Trick. I don't think he's the one called up. I like Trick Williams. I like what he does. It seems like he's stalled out a little bit. The TNA run did him a lot of good. because it allowed him to be champ in a different place and get some different things out and really help them as well. But you got to remember when he stepped up into the main spot was when Melo moved to the top level. Well, Melo hadn't exactly blown the doors off of things up there either. Trick is still one of the main players. I just feel like either who he's training with or who is in his ear, and I'm not going to say the guy's name because I want to stay on good terms. He is starting to act like a carbon copy of that guy. And that's why I think he is stalling out. Put your own spin on it, Trick. Put your own thing onto it. Quit acting like the 2.0 guy or the 2.0 version of the guy. I mean, yeah, he's a great guy to emulate. But there's a reason why there's not a second Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's a reason why there's not a second Mick Foley. There's not a second Shawn Michaels. There's people that are very similar to them, but they put their own spin on it. That's what you've got to do, because right now you just remind me of somebody who is just trying to be like their favorite wrestler when you should be you. And I think if you go back to trying to be you, I think you're in a much better spot. I feel like they want to build up Laney Reed, but they just can't figure out where to put her yet. I think there's going to be some open spots soon because, like I said, I think there are some call ups. I think there's going to be some people let go as well. Going to be kind of put some people in not good moods. But Laney Reed took on Fabi Apache, and Fabi Apache is a big time veteran. And she not only was holding her own, it is the speed too, because I don't like those 3-minute matches. I don't. You got to put too many things in them, and they almost turn into squashes, and it's not enough time at all to tell a story. It's kind of like bam, bam, you're done, and you're like that. It's kind of weird. By the way, those are fantastic. That is some kind of funky lemonade that basically kept me upright today. Straight up just juices and stuff, nothing crazy in it. But I think they want to do some stuff with Laney Reed. They've started to integrate her into some other people's stories. So we'll kind of see what they do from there. Other people I think are going to get called up very soon is Sol Ruca. I don't know what that does for Zarya. Zarya could get pulled up, but I think they're going to pull up Sol as a solo. So Zarya should just start being a menace again because she's that good. Dark State had a good title defense against Hank and Tank. I like Hank and Tank. I think they're a good, fun team. Maybe they work on the second level. The Dark State, to be what they were when they started, when they would come out of nowhere and they were like the Shield, but the Shield would walk down to the ring and then beat the crap out of you, where Dark State sneaks down to the ring. They really don't let you know it's coming. So go back to being that, and not just attacking people, but be the elusive 4 team, the elusive 4. Not they're kind of getting away from it for a minute, but I think Dark State has a chance to do some good stuff. It'll be interesting to see who they try to put against them. I like them as the tag champ. I kind of want them to do the Freebird rule where any 2 can defend at any time. I think that would be great. What else was there? Lexus King and Charlie Dempsey getting into it. It would be fun if they paired up, but I think it would be more fun if the two of it. I mean, well, they've kind of went at it before, so let's pair them up. Let's pair them up. Not in any group. Just as a team, just pair them up. See what happens. There was a flag match between Ethan Page and Tavion Heights. Of course, Tavion won that. Ethan Page, he's one that if you don't call him up soon, then what was the point? Because, yeah, he's doing a great thing in NXT of really building a lot of people down there. It's time to put Ethan Page on national television again. And I will be the first to sign any kind of list to do so. And then also, at the end of that, as Ethan Page was laid out, we saw the return of Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze came back. I want to watch this week to see what all that had to do with it, because that was Tyler Breeze is fun. He is very cool. I could actually see him pairing up with Pretty Deadly and being a wicked trio. But for now, looks like him and Ethan Page are going to kind of get into it, and that could be a lot of fun. Um, Other than that, looks like Fatal Influence is kind of getting wishy-washy, where maybe it splits. Um, I think Lola Vice is going to be featured a lot more, not just in the AAA stuff, but I think she's going to be featured more going forward with their stuff. I think she could be a star for them for sure. She could be one of the next ones pushed up to the top. And I'm just going to mention that Soul hit Zarya at the end that caused them to lose the Fatal Influence. I don't think anything really materialized out of it, but if it's going to cause the split, then that will be why Soul gets moved up. But instead, Rhea, Stratton, and Fakur all came out to tell Fatal Influence that if you need somebody, we're right here. We're absolutely right here. So that was NXT. Let's get into our predictions, or my predictions, for the AEW pay-per-view All Out that is going on right now. So we've got Harley Cameron, Mina Shirakawa, Queen Amanada, and Willow Nightingale versus Divine Vanity. I like that name. Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, and the Triangle of Madness, the members Julia Hart and Sky Blue. I think Tekla is hurt. I think she got roughed up a little bit the last time she got into it with somebody. I'm not sure how to figure that out. More than likely, Harley Cameron's team is going to win. I don't think it matters. I like that all four of these women get to be featured. This is on the pre-show. But hey, you got on the show. You know how many people didn't get on the show? Dozens. And you got on the show. New Moxley faction member Daniel Garcia is going to take on Katsuyori Shibata. Daniel's got to get the win. Shibata's a guy who can win, lose, draw. It doesn't matter. Daniel Garcia, I think, will beat Shibata. Boy, if they really want to make it good, make him tap or make him submit, make him pass out, something, save him. Speaking of the OPPs, yeah, Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs are going to take on the Workhorsemen of Anthony Henry and JD Drake. The Workhorsemen are very underrated in what they do backstage and the kind of in-ring work they do, but the OPPs are going to smoke them like a Christmas ham. For the AEW Tag Team Championship, we are going to get Brodito, is Brody King and Bandito, who are going to defend against the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson, who are still going by that, going to have our biscuit party when they win. Versus Jet Speed, which is Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, and the Don Callis family of Hechicero and John Alexander. And that's going to be in a ladder match. Who do I think is going to win that? Either Brodito is going to retain, which is fine. I think it'd be great if the Young Bucks won. So I'm going Young Bucks, because if the Young Bucks win, I'm going to Cracker Barrel tomorrow to celebrate. I'm going to wear my hat. I'm going to wear my hat just for you guys. I got you. Here on this show, we are Young Bucks. We are Young Bucks fans. So I'm going Young Bucks to win the Tag Team Championship. In the Unified Championship match, we are going to get Kazuchika Okada versus Konosuke Takeshita versus Mascara Dorada or the Beast Mortos, depending on who wins. I think Dorada won that. Don't remember exactly, but it's not going to matter. Neither one of them are going to win. I honestly think Takeshita is going to beat Okada, because this is a passing of the torch type moment a little bit. Takeshita just won the G1 in Japan. Okada won that a couple times. I think he's the next big Japanese star And I think they're going to do the right thing and have Takeshita actually win that. So I'm going to Takeshita. We're going to get the Hurt Syndicate. You know, they hurt people. Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP. This is how serious it got. MVP said, putting my cane down because I'm about to whip somebody. They're going to take on Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, which are Bishop Khan and Oa Leona. Normally, I would take the Ricochet side, but they hurt people on purpose. The Hurt Syndicate are going to win this match, or it's going to be thrown out as a no contest, one or the other. But Lashley, Shelton, and MVP are going to continue to just smash people, and it's going to be great. In a matchup I'm actually looking a lot forward to, we get the return of Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston coming back. That's so awesome. But he's going to take on Big Bill, who we're big fans of here at the show. Big Bill. I don't know. Eddie might win. Him coming back like this, he could beat Big Bill. We'll take Eddie. We'll take Eddie. Big Bill, please don't kick us in the face. We will take Eddie Kingston to win this particular match. In a match that makes absolutely no sense to me, Mercedes Moné, the CEO, is going to defend her TBS championship against Rio. Rio, the inaugural women's champion. Great. But she just comes back out of nowhere. It's like the way TNA used to sign people for 3-week contracts or like one night contracts. Right? Just Rio just shows up, kicks somebody, and then they have a match. And she wins if you don't, and then they go on. Give me the CEO, Mercedes Moné, to wipe the floor with Rio. That's what I think. And you can take that to the bank. MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, the newly married man, by the way. Congratulations. He's going to take on Mark Briscoe in a table intact match. What does that mean? I don't know. I have no idea. There's going to be tables. There's going to be tacks. Maybe it's the only way you can win is to throw your opponent through a table that also has tacks on it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to watch so that I can find out what in the world that means. This really does sound like old school TNA. Love TNA, but the stuff they would come up with man, the only thing that rivaled it was the stuff WCW did towards the end, putting people's mothers in a shark cage on a pole for a match. What are you doing, Vince Russo? What are you doing, bud? What else do we got? AEW Women's World Championship. Man, I hope this is not in the order it's going to go. This is very debatable. Could be the main event. Timeless. Toni Storm is defending her championship against Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, and Tekla. I guess Tekla is cleared for this. Okay, nothing personal. Tekla. Nope, not gonna win. Could Chris Statlander win? Yes, I give it about a 2 out of 10 chance. Could Jamie Hayter win? I would give it a 4 or 5 out of 10 chance had she been back and more active recently, but she hasn't kind of been. So I think Timeless Toni Storm is going to retain. I think Jamie Hayter is going to emerge as the bigger contender out of this entire match, and I think that's I would like to see Timeless Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter. Yes, please and thank you. Jon Moxley and Darby Allin in a coffin match. Oh boy. Oh boy. Who needs to win? Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley absolutely needs this win because the later part of his run was starting to go sideways. Wasn't his fault. And then now Darby Allin is just the big thorn in the lion's paw here. Although a good way to have Jon take a few months off or something, or some time off, put him in the coffin. I would like to see Darby win this, but give me Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley absolutely is gonna take this. The AEW World Championship is on the line as Hangman Adam Page takes on the prototype Kyle Fletcher. This is a feud I hope we see for the next half a dozen years, at least. I don't think Fletcher's ready to take it, but he's not that far away. Fletcher might be the next big thing. And his solo run from a couple years ago has turned into pure gold and magic. I think this might be match of the night all the way around because I think Page will go to the end of the earth, beat somebody, and Kyle Fletcher will drag you to hell and back. So these two are gonna, like I said, this will not be the last time they face. They will face again in some ridiculous stipulation match. Give me Hangman to retain. And then lastly, Adam Copeland. Thank goodness he's going by that again. We actually know who he is. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage are going to take on FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood, who I just absolutely despise. No, they're doing a good job. No, they get into it with fans, things they are saying to fans. Look, I understand. Fans say ridiculously stupid things to wrestlers too. But you know better. You know better. So I hope Adam Copeland and Christian Cage wipe the floor with them. I think instead the four of them are just going to destroy each other. But I will take Cope and Cage for that one. I believe that is all the matches there. I was going to talk about PFL this week. They didn't have any events. I was going to talk about UFC this week. They didn't have any events because we don't really watch Contender Series. Just honestly, I forgot it was on. So in the next couple of weeks, we will add back. I think not this upcoming week, but the week after, we will add our MMA coverage back because I believe Bare Knuckle has some stuff coming up. I believe Invicta has some stuff coming up. And other than that, we have reached the end of the show. So thanks for tuning in to another great edition of Strong Style. I'm your host, Jeremy the Impact York. We will see you guys next week. Deuces, gooses. Go watch wrestling. Go watch fighting.